Speaking of Baylor,
And on that note,
Good transition.
and on that note, one of the bright spots, I will say, let's transition that nicer. One of the brighter spots of Baylor this season has been the emergence of skill position players like Josh Cameron, who Craven and Carter sat with. Here's our interview with the former walk-on, now scholarship go-to player, Josh Cameron.
hello and welcome in to our very special interview with Baylor wide receiver Josh Cameron, or should I say Burlsworth Trophy nominee Josh Cameron for top walk-on, who began his career as a walk-on in college football. Josh is leading Baylor right now in receiving yards, touchdowns, receptions, everything you can name as a wide receiver. Josh, what does that nomination for the Burlsworth Trophy mean to you?
Oh man, where do I even begin? No, it means a whole lot. Honestly, really just what the whole kind of foundation and the award just kind of stands for. Just the impact that Brandon Burlsworth had on really just the view of walk-ons in general. I mean, to be up for this nomination, I mean, it means the world. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm representing kind of all the walk-ons around the nation who kind of tend to get overlooked just because they have that title as walk-ons. So I think it just truly just means the world to me.
Yeah, what do you want like high school recruits that know your story? What message should they get about your story?
Oh yeah. So really just talking about my story in general, going back to high school, junior year and really senior year, I had kind of like 1,100 plus yards, 15 plus touchdowns, things like that. But my recruiting was honestly just like there wasn't much recruiting, if I'm being honest. But it was just kind of I was overlooked. I don't really know the reason why, but at the end of the day, that's still a part of my story. And I think I really just want to send a message that patience is just the number one thing kind of through it all. I think that's something that God has kind of taught me through this whole journey from my from high school all the way to where I'm at now. That you know what I'm saying, as long as you just keep grinding away, that you'll soon one day get there. And just never lose hope, never lose faith, and just remember who you are. Because at the end of the day, if you know who you are, then you know what you can do, basically.
Did you always kind of have that patience, like you knew it would work out, or was it ever frustrating for you? Because I mean, you're at Cedar Park, which is like a perennial power. You're putting up
hmm
numbers. Like, did it ever get frustrating for you?
I would say maybe at times it was a little frustrating. Kind of, I had talks with my mom and kind of parents. I'm just kind of like, I don't really understand like what's going on recruiting wise. So we were kind of all kind of stumped, and as a family, we were all kind of frustrated at times. But I think at the end of the day, just going back to that thing of patience and just kind of like my whole life of being overlooked, I guess you could say. So it wasn't like a huge thing because I was just a little bit used to it. And yeah, I was just think just patience is the best thing for that, honestly.
What went into the decision to walk on at Baylor? Because you had FCS offers, but you chose to kind of bet on yourself, take a preferred walk on. Like, what went into that?
Yeah, so really going back to when I was 5 years old as a when I first started playing football. Actually, it's a funny story. When I first started playing football, I was actually an offensive lineman. I play like right guard or something like that. And then going into when I turned six, going to that next year, that's when I transitioned to running back. And then when I got towards like high school, that's kind of when I made transition to wide receiver. But really just going to the decision itself, I always knew like ever since I was young, I wanted to play football at the highest level possible. Um, yeah, really just at the highest level possible, that being D1 level or D1 FBS. And so I kind of had a connection with Baylor from my brother. He went here. He didn't play sports and anything, but he graduated from here. So I already knew Baylor was just a awesome, great school. And then something that really sold me that was like I had a conversation with Coach Aranda, the head coach. And so I thought that was something just so interesting that I was just like a preferred walk-on, but I'm talking to the head coach of Baylor football. I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, this is really different because a lot of times walk-ons tend to just get overlooked, and then you find out who the head coach is when you get there, kind of deal. So I think that was just something real special, and just seeing like different past guys like McVay, what's it, Braden Utley, other guys like that who were walk-ons and then earned a scholarship. I knew like I feel like Baylor's just truly a different place where I can be respected, and I'll actually get a chance to do my thing. So that was kind of the decision. And I told my parents like, you know what I'm saying, I think I think I'm gonna go to Baylor. I think I'm gonna bet on myself, and then yeah, y'all will have to pay for school for a little bit, but I promise you that I will get that scholarship. So yeah, that's kind of what ended up happening. So it's definitely awesome though.
So you were a former running back. Is that why you wear number 34?
Yeah, so let's see. Let's see, eighth grade. That's when I was running back, and then going to high school. I just decided to be a little bit different. I was like, I've always been just a little bit different. Always wanted to be kind of like my own self, something unique. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep the 34 number. I've been always been a big Bo Jackson fan. Like the way he plays. So I was always like, man, I'm just gonna be a bigger receiver, wear number 34, and just do something different. So that's kind of the whole 34 number, if I'm being honest.
So let me preface this by this is going to be the dumbest question you've ever been asked. But do you think wearing 34 as a wide receiver might have been the reason you didn't get recruited as much?
I don't think that played a part in it, if I'm being honest. Like I said, I love the number 34. And I think it just when you see 34 as a wide receiver, like what that's interesting. So I think just kind of playing off of that, being just unique and just different is the biggest thing, honestly.
And so college football is changing so much, right? Like there might take away scholarship limits at the major college programs like Baylor, cap the roster at 105. So like the walk on in the future, like people don't know what's going to happen to it or if it's still going to be there.
Yeah.
Like in your opinion, why are walk-ons important?
Um, Kind of like I was saying before, walk-ons tend to get overlooked. They're just a whole bunch of different guys who have just different stories and just different things coming from a whole bunch of different places. So I think walk-ons are just kind of like the heart and just like the center of the team at times. You know what I'm saying? They're just doing tasks that no other player wants to do and that some scholarship players don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Walk-ons tend to get thrown into that role. But at the end of the day, a lot of walk-ons, we don't complain. We go grind every day, no complaining. You know what I'm saying? We're really the heart and center of the team at times, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the heart and center of the team. And Dave Aranda had talked earlier this year about how a turning point in y'all's season was before the Texas Tech game in practice where you like threw your helmet down, you started freaking out on the guys and giving them like motivational words, right? He said it could be a Disney movie if not for all the S and F bombs out there. But like give me the PG rated version of your message to the guys and like why you felt the need to step up in that moment.
Yeah, so let's see. I think that was like a Tuesday practice. Yeah, so it was like a Tuesday practice, not just wasn't really liking how the practice was going. Just kind of the way people were just going about things. Like, we just came off the loss to Iowa State, I believe, if
Mm.
I'm not mistaken. And so, yeah, I just didn't like how practice was going, just the energy, just the way people were going about it. So I just had to like get my message across. And it just, I guess it had to be that way, just so
So
people can hear me. But I just had to get my message across, like, guys, like, we're a good team. We have to pick it up. And like the way that what we're doing now is basically isn't going to cut it if we want to get to the places that we want to get to them into the future, basically.
we're recording this interview before the West Virginia game, but before this West Virginia game, y'all have been, I think, undefeated since that moment in practice. Like, what
Mhm.
have you seen a difference in the team since then?
Oh yeah, I would definitely say I see a difference. I think guys, especially coming off that bye week, guys, got good rest and the energy leading up into this West Virginia game has just been awesome. Guys have just been flying around, competing at rate that, you know what I'm saying, has just been really ever since that moment has just been stacking and stacking and stacking. So I think guys just know what we're capable of as a team and kind of see that, and then we're just kind of feeding off of each other's energy and just kind of propelling forward, just so that we can just keep on stacking, keep on winning. Because that's at the end of the day, as long as we win, everybody's happy.
How much fun is it playing in this offense this year? I mean, it's fun as hell to watch. Like, it must be, is it fun to play wide receiver in it?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I was going to say it's your stereotypical spread offense. You know what I'm saying? You get to throw the ball like 40, 50 times a game. It's honestly a wide receiver's dream, if I'm being honest. So being able to be a part of it is just super cool. And then just having Coach Spav and then Sawyer just trust me. Honestly, that's just the next biggest thing. So as long as they trust me, you know what I'm saying? I'll just do my best to make the plays and just go out there and have fun at the end of the day.
I mean, we've talked about it on the podcast. Like Sor Robertson's probably the most surprising player in Texas. I mean, he's been lights out this year. What have you noticed a change in him, like attitude wise, or just play wise, or like what's gone into this year for him?
Um, yeah, I would say the main thing would be his confidence. Yeah, just the way he walks around, I guess you could say. You can just see his chest is high, his head is forward. Just he just walks and just plays with a whole different confidence when he's out on that field. I think that's honestly one of the biggest factors when playing this game. If you're confident, then basically almost no one can stop anybody, honestly. So I think his confidence has just been taking a completely different step, and it's honestly fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing his journey, because he always works hard no matter what, and he's always just been a great team guy, team first guy. So just seeing his hard work and just kind of patience pay off is it's honestly really cool.
Coach Aranda's talked about he's like the most competitive guy too. Like I think y'all had a ping pong table or something in the facility, and he like tries to run the ping pong table. Like, have you beaten him in ping pong, or who's getting the best of each other there?
You know, I played him a couple times, and it was back and forth. It was back and forth. But I think in the end he did get me. I was pretty disappointed about that. He does have a nice ping pong game. You know what I'm saying? But he's a ultra competitor. Honestly, Coach Aranda said it to a T. Honestly, he's one of, if not the most competitive guy on this team. He makes a little mistake, he's hard on himself, but I know that hardness that he puts on himself, he's gonna correct it in the end. So.
What was it like when the fans rushed the field after the TCU game? Like, what was that moment like for you?
Yeah, it honestly, I was kind of surprised because I was just kind of just celebrating with my teammates, and then I was about to go walk over to like do the little handshake thing, and then like as I was like just celebrating, looking around at everybody expression after we beat TCU, I just see a whole bunch of people just run up, and then it was just all crowded and stuff and crazy. I was like, oh snap! And just had a whole bunch of people like say, hey, can I take a photo? Things like that. So it was honestly a cool experience. It definitely caught me off guard, but no, it was awesome though for sure.
But Coach Aranda had said earlier this year, like, we got to win some games so we're cool enough to hang out with, Like, do you think I feel like that's the moment y'all are definitely cool enough to hang out with now. They're rushing the field, right?
No, for sure, for sure. I feel like the whole kind of atmosphere and momentum just took a completely different turn after that game. I feel like the fans have really, what I'm saying, bought back into what we're doing here, and just the belief just all around from the fans, the team, to just really everybody has just been through the roof, honestly.
Yep. All right, that's Baylor wide receiver Josh Cameron. Hey, Josh, real quick before we go, what's your prediction for Cedar Park this year in the playoffs?
You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to handle business. There's some great guys on offense, great guys on defense. I think they can go all the way. I think they can do everything, handle business, and just, what I'm saying, take it to state.
Take it to state, baby, just like Josh Cameron did his senior year there. They got to live up to that
yes,
legacy.
Sir.
All right, Josh.
Yes,
hey, thank you for joining, man. Appreciate this.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Appreciate Josh Cameron for joining us. Really good talk, but I have one gripe. Told you while it was going on. Next time you see a Hunter x Hunter anime poster in the background, you better call me in the room so I can ask questions about.
Yeah, I was out of my depth on that one. I didn't know what that was a reference to.
Also, his headset, that's definitely a gamer.
Oh, for sure.
I saw the.
I was going to put that in the Slack.
I was like, this dude is a gamer right now, and a Hunter x Hunter poster in the background. I was like, oh, this guy's it's right up my alley. So.
And he wears number 34 as wide receiver.
Yeah.
This guy's awesome.
Yeah, he has
Dude's rock.
He has no fear.